What's up, guys, and welcome to another video for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And we got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about today. We're going to jump right into it, no delays. So, I'm just going to go briefly over really quick just what we're going to cover today, and then I'm going to get right into it. So, we got the letter from the producer that came out a day or so ago. Maybe a couple days more than that, I don't know. So, we'll get to that in a sec. That'll be the first thing we get to. A little bit of a reminder for beta testers is what the next thing you see prior underneath the letter from the producer topic. And just to basically go over that real quick, that's just saying to double check your square-enix members account to see if your email's up to date for getting an incoming beta invite. You want to make sure your email's up to date, it's connected, it's activated, it's all, you know, wham bam, thank you Pam, ready to go, so they don't give you an inactive email account or the wrong email account. So double check that link on the lodestone, make sure you got everything squared away for any of you beta testers out there, because I'll tell you right now, I had somebody on my last video ask me about this, and this is going out to you and anyone else. They will be doing invites soon, okay? I've already heard some people around the webs, such as Facebook and some other areas, getting emails and whatnot, so just throwing that out there from what I've been hearing and seeing. So just be on the lookout for that and double check all your contact information and your Square Enix page. So just a friendly reminder. We're going to show you the updated artwork for the Chocobo's Rule the World contest. We'll get into that after the letter. We got 2 blogs that came out recently that we're going to go over, and then we got some forum topics. So let's jump right into it right now for Final Fantasy XIV. So here we go. Letter from the producer. I believe this is the 42nd? I'm not good with the higher upper Roman numerals, so I think the last one was the 41st. Might be mistaken. Ah, I was right, 42nd. Okay. So, 42nd letter from the producer on February 6, 2013. So this was 3 days ago. Alright. Here we go. Yoshi P says, "Hello again to all you eagerly awaiting Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Yoshi P here, bringing you the 42nd letter from the producer. The team and I have been working tirelessly to meet our deadlines for the upcoming beta test. While I'm sure the wait has been unbearable, you'll be happy to know that I've just completed my last round of checks. We're now making final adjustments to the client, doing our best to stay on track. Although Phase 1 will be limited to areas around Gridania, like the alpha test, there'll be plenty of full active time events to try, and we've put everything we've got into creating an exciting game experience. It won't be long now before the testing begins, and in my next letter you can expect an announcement for the starting date." After posting the 41st letter, there was a lot of clamoring for more screenshots, especially of the Elysian female. I'm always looking for an excuse to toy with the character creator, so I took a few screenshots myself. They're not as dazzling as our usual promo shots, but I hope you enjoy them all the same. The Elysian female is striking a pose. Could she be Yorzia's next top model? So, I'm going to actually zoom in for these parts, because I had some people that really wanted me to zoom in for previous videos, and I figured, what the hell, I'll zoom in the best I can while still being able to read the dialogue. So, I'm just going to go down the rest of the page zoomed in like this. Now, you can see right there, that's the Elysian female in her race-specific starting gear when you first boot up Final Fantasy XIV. So, yeah, that's if you haven't seen it, well, of course it's in Japanese, but that's what the character creator looks like. And it looked the same in Alpha too. And you get to select 3 choices so far. I don't know if they're going to add any more, but usually the one you're looking at now is the first little bubble. The second one's the forest background to show your character in for like a little bit of a demonstration. And then the third one's an inside house in Gridania that shows off different lighting, so you get a different look of your character, see how it looks in different lighting effects and whatnot. And that's just basically the gist of it. There's videos you've probably seen already, so enough rambling on. Let's get down to the next one, which shows a close-up shot of her. And Yoshi P says, "As a finishing touch, I added some highlights to her hair." So he's basically, no one's really seen the Elysian female in the character creator yet. So this is the first time you can actually see her, well, I guess playable, you can say, in the character creation for the new game. And it looks pretty awesome. I like how it looks. Really nice. And here's another one doing a dynamic pose. So if you see how he has unique selected underneath where it says pose, that's right underneath her waist, you can make them do different stances instead of just standing around, and it'll do emotes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And he says again, here she is relaxing in the black shroud, enjoying the game's natural lighting. Aha, here's the Lalafell in his race-specific starting gear. Here's the Lalafell male. If I were a Lalafell, I'd want to look like this guy. And Yoshi P goes down here and he says, he can look tough, but he's still cute enough to charm the ladies. And that's the Lalafell's, I believe that's his slash pose emote that he's doing right there. So that's pretty cool. The Lalafell for the first time showing off in the character creation for 14. And here's a close-up shot, another one, showing off. And actually, if you have not noticed yet, that is a brand new hairstyle for the Lalafell male. That has never been in the game yet. For the 2 years the game's been out, or playable I should say, that hairstyle has never graced the game. I don't even think NPCs had that hairstyle. So that is a brand new one, and I'm pretty sure, I haven't had too many experience seeing people playing as Elzine females, but I'm pretty damn sure that's a new hairstyle for Elzine females also. So a new hairstyle for the female Elzine, and a new hairstyle for the Lalafell male, and there's going to be tons more for all the other races as well that you haven't seen yet, so look forward to that too. Now here is, he says, of course, I had to add another benchmark screenshot. Again, pay no mind to the scoring. We're running our final test using various PC specs, and you can see there that they're in front of ul'dah, and this is like right out front by I think it was Blackbrush. It was called. It's been a while. I'm pretty sure it was Blackbrush, and then Bent Branch was outside Gridania, but I get those two mixed up all the time. They sound similar, but that's right outside by Blackbrush in Gridania, not Gridania, ul'dah's entrance. You can see the Chocobos are running like all the way up to the front gates of ul'dah. I like the little fireplace that you can see with the fish on the ends of the sticks being cooked, and a bunch of people just gathered around the fireplace and whatnot. Pretty cool. And this was actually, I believe, one of the first benchmarks they shown in a couple blog posts back. And you can go back, and I think it was in my very first Final Fantasy XIV update video that you can actually see this, but it was not direct capture. It was shot off of his laptop, and this was, I believe this is the same exact screenshot that he took. Now that looks pretty nice. I like how the desert looks in the new Thanalan region. It looks really, really cool. So finishing up, he goes, starting February 10th, I'll be away from the office on a media tour that will pave the way for the beta test. I'll be traveling around the world, stopping in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and London, getting the word out to various media outlets and giving them a taste of the new Final Fantasy XIV. All regions will be receiving information at the same time, so be sure to keep an eye out. Oh, before I forget, Letter from the Producer Live Part 5 is planned for the day after I return from the tour. After aerial adventures, strenuous schedules, and jarring jet lag, what will become of the broadcast? You'll find out when details are posted on the Lodestone. See you next time on the forums, or in the beta test. And that was the recent Letter from the Producer. So now that we got that out of the way, I just want to show you some of the new entries that came in for the Chocobo's Rule the World contest for US contestants. Now this one was one of the ones I showed you last time, or the previous video, whichever one it was. Now this is a re-uploaded image of the guy I told you from the last video. Well, this is his girlfriend, Lady Aim, and she's the one that made these herself. And I'm guessing this is her account, because, I mean, pretty obvious to see why. And she did a Moogle, which looks fantastic, by the way. Fucking amazing. Like, her Chocobo and Moogle are so beautifully done. Very, very nice. Very professional looking. I would, as a matter of fact, I would love if they actually incorporated these two guys, or at least one or the other, as like a collector's edition item in the new game. That would be fantastic. I know it's not going to happen, but I would absolutely love that. Or even to be able to buy these separately if she made more of them. These are really, really nice. I would love to have that Chocobo. So, good job, Lady Aim. Very nice. I'm surprised she doesn't have more likes, because that is like fucking amazing. Now here's some other ones I really like that I believe I did not show you last time, but for the sake of not being able to see them, here's an update of new artwork that people submitted. Now here's Resident Z's Chocobo artwork, which looks very, very cool. It's very Final. It's basically the Final Fantasy XI Chocobo, but it looks very awesome. I love it. Reminds me of raising my Chocobo back in 11, which is great. Well, the memories were great, but well, I won't get into that. It was fun stuff. Hopefully, it's a lot cooler in 14 because I really love the concept of Chocobo raising. Really, really cool. So I love that. That's great stuff. Here's other people's artworks that you can see on here. Here's another page I'll go through. More Chocobos. Oh, this one looks really cool. Really dynamic colorization going on here. A lot of colors and monsters. You can see the Peist, the Bomb, Gugu, Armin, Marmot down there, Goblin, and the armored Olden Chocobo. There's another Chocobo, Black Mage riding the Chocobo. This one's awesome. I love this one. This guy's winning the fucking contest for sure. I'm telling you, man. This guy's gonna win it. You watch. He's gonna blow all your minds. Now, this one's pretty neat. He's got some 3D artwork going on here. This one's neat. This, you know, this kind of reminds me of like the Chocobo Dungeon, or maybe the Final Fantasy IX Chocobo a little bit. The red Chocobo. That's pretty cool. It's like a, I think that's made out of clay or something. Not too sure. That looks kind of gross. Not gonna lie. This guy did Chocobo Fantasy 14. Pretty neat. A little bit of spin off the cover artwork for 14. This one's not bad. Chocobo sitting on top of his Lalafell Master. This one's really, really nice. I love the pencil artwork that he did on the Chocobo's legs up top and the beak, the way he shaped the beak and the eyes and the feathers, and the little cactar and all the other guys. I think that's a Tomberry right there on the right. Very, very nice. Very good job. And I like how he did the Wark and the Que from old style Chocobos to the more latest style Chocobos. That's a really cool nod. And this one, oh my god, this looks fantastic. Really, really, really nice. That's like, wow. That's beautiful. Like the wow. It almost looks like, I don't want to say watercolor. It looks like pastel, or I'm trying to find the name of what I'm looking for. I think it, the name escapes me for the type of style, but it's definitely a really cool digital artwork of a Chocobo. It looks like he's standing on a hill in Limsa somewhere by the looks of it. I might be wrong, but it definitely looks like a Limsa background. Whatever the case may be, it's fantastic. So that's Scoop's artwork, and very well done. There's a baby red Chocobo. It looks like a featherless Chocobo, but it just said it's a pink baby Chocobo. My mistake. And that's by Reichel. Oh man, apparently this guy loves this photo so much that he's setting it as his wallpaper. So I guess everyone loves this as well. Well, that's enough for the Chocobo artwork, so we're going to go on to the blog section. Recording in progress. I'm going to zoom in for these ones as well so you guys can see the images better, because I know they're a little tiny, and I still don't know why they don't let you click on them and blow them up. But anyway, I'm zooming them in for you guys. Now this one's recording in progress. And here we go. Alright. When the Fern's away, Pranurabi will play. And play I did. In the sound studio, which Yoshi P and Morochi, Foxclaw, Morbo, and Community and Services were recording the first developer's commentary video. And you can see Yoshi P sitting there with the camera behind him playing on a little TV screen. And he's got, I think he has a PS3 controller in his hands. Or I could be wrong. I think that's a mouse on the, or a keyboard, I'm sorry, on the table down there. But a lot of people were saying that he's playing the PS3 version, because if you zoom in, you can actually see the well, not the, I think it's called a cross hop bar. No, that's not the cross hop bar, but that's the macro action bar, whatchamadoodle thingy that the PS3 people get to play with right down there. See the up, down, left, right for the D-pad? Well, that's what everyone thinks he's playing on, which pretty obvious he is. So they're going to be showing out PS3 footage soon, which is what they're recording here to show us at a later time. So Pernerby continues down here to saying, the scene above may put fans in mind of a letter from the producer live, though this time you get to see your two favorite presenters from the rear end. Yay! As a trade-off, though, you don't get to see the object that Yoshi P is holding in his hands, which I'm guessing is the PS3 controller. He continues to say, what in seven hells is it, you ask? You'll have to figure it out from the photo below. Which, you can see a baby Chocobo also with a little eggshell for a diaper standing next to the Lalafell, which is kind of funny because a lot of people pointed out that the Chocobo's almost as tall as the fucking Lalafell, which is pretty hilarious. I mean, a little bit bigger and the Lalafell could be riding that guy's amount. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, just look at the size comparison between the baby Chocobo, the adult Chocobo, and the fucking Lalafell. And if you notice, there's a Chocobo person it's an NPC standing next to the Lalafell with the little quest objective on top of his head. He has the Chocobo mask that I have and my friends have from doing the Chocobo escorts in the original 14. He's wearing as a helmet. And it's funny because if you look, he's not only has a yellow apron on, nodding to the Chocobo he's standing next to, but he also has, if you can look really hard, I'm trying to zoom in for you guys here. Now, I may be mistaken, but it looks like those two little icons on the left and the right of his apron look like little chibi Chocobo icons with like little eggshells, just like the one next to him on his little apron. It looks like they're stitched into it, so that's really cool. So some people were saying he's like the version of Chocolina from Final Fantasy XIII in 14's world, which, I don't know, might scare some people, but this one looks a lot cooler, definitely. So yeah, just throwing that out there for anybody that didn't notice that. So Pernerby finishes up by saying, so, did you figure it out? I'm afraid we can't reveal any details at the moment. Please wait until the video goes live. Pernerby. And that was that blog post that came out recently. Now the other blog post that just came out, which I believe was today, either late last night or very early at the crack of dawn this morning, this one came out. Now this one says, this is not a test. Hello everyone, Fern Holly's back again. I mean, seriously. I'd leave Pernerby alone for 1 minute and he's off gallivanting, oh my god, gallivanting about pretending to be king of the blog. This is simply unacceptable, so to teach the bad boy a lesson, I've locked him up in the utility closet where we will store all of our overstocked Tonberry plushies. Oh my god. That should give him something to think about. Now then, back on Tuesday, Yoshi P had everyone on the Final Fantasy XIV development team participate in a half-day playtest of the soon-to-be-released beta version. Sure, it was the perfect chance to sift through the content and find bugs or whatnot, but it was also an opportunity to take a step back and experience the game as players, and that in itself was just plain fun. In addition to watching a bunch of new quests, some of us partied up and tried our hands at the new full active time events, Fate. And you can see here, I'm going to zoom in for you guys to see this. I don't know what the fuck this is. I have no idea. I've never seen this in the data files. I've never seen this in 14 before. I've never even seen it in any of the promo artwork for 14. But what this fucking thing looks, it's definitely a flying creature. But it has like a tail like a Diorite. It has wings like an Aramin. And it has like a body almost like a fucking dragon or something. Or a gnat. Because if you look at its legs, it looks like it has like insect-like legs. So I don't know if it's a giant flying insect thing or a fucking really weird looking dragon. But my money's on some type of bug. But I could be wrong. I have no idea. But this is one of the monsters that you fight in the Fate. That's going to be featured in the beta for all you guys that are going to be participating in the beta test for 14. You're going to be seeing this motherfucker in the flesh. And that's going to be one of you in the screenshot up against this thing with a whole bunch of other people on the server. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I'm really excited to see what the hell this thing is, because I have no idea. However, the thing down here, I do know what it is. So, Fernhollis continues on saying, while some of us did runs through the new instance dungeon, and then there were those of us who just spent 4 hours in the Adventurers Guild harassing that cute Lalafell in the short skirt and high boots. He's referring to this one right here. Good times, Fernhollis. So, let's go back up to this picture right here. You're probably wondering, oh my god, is that Shiva? Oh? Well, first off, it's not Shiva. I can tell you that much right now. It's the succubus. And I can tell it's the succubus because Shiva had boots on. And she had a couple other things that pointed out to her as well. If you look at the claws up by her face, if you go look at the succubus artwork, and I'm sorry I actually didn't pull it up for you guys, but if you look at the succubus artwork, you'll notice that she has these long fucking clawed hands, and she has the same feet, and you look very closely at her toe, her big toe, she has this little claw mark at the end of it. Like, you see that little claw that tips off? Yeah, go back and look at, and actually look up on Google, type in Final Fantasy XIV succubus artwork, and you'll notice those little faint details that's who she is. There's a couple succubus styles that they did, a couple palettes or whatever you call them, and there's like a black one, blackish type blue one, and that's the one that they used there. You can notice the raggedy cut up cape that she has, the big fucking tits that she has. I know, I'm a sucker for details and accuracy, but you can see it there, but she has a shield thing, so you really can't see it. But that's the fucking succubus. And if you look even closer in her hand, she has like a type of sword or axe, and there's a couple variations that they used. A couple succubus, or succubi, however you use that plural, have either a sword, a different couple types of swords, or they have a short axe, like I don't know what the fuck you call a short axe, like a smaller version of like an axe. It kind of looks like a big ass scepter that Authaumators would use, but like an axe version, let's put it that way. And that's the one I believe that she's using. And if you look at the hilt, like the bottom of the whatever the fuck she's wielding, it's shaped like a diamond almost, sort of kind of like a spade or a diamond. And that, if you look at the artwork, it also has that. So I'm pretty sure that everyone's already deduced this. And I saw some people on the Facebook page say this as well and agree with me that it is the succubus. So this is, you're probably wondering where this is. Well, this is a mansion, and I can't say where the mansion is. I'll just say that you'll be able to find it at the start of beta, where the game takes place initially for beta testers. That's as much as I can say. I can't really go into detail, but it's a mansion, it's a manor, okay? And people that have experience with prior testing, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's a manor that is one of the new instance dungeons that you'll be able to partake in, and the succubi, succubus, whatever, will be the dungeon boss, I'm guessing. I'm assuming. Or it could be like a mini boss. Who knows? And there's a gladiator right there fighting her off while she does some type of buff or shield spell or whatever. So that is the latest blog that came out today. Okay, so that's it for the blog section. Let's go on to the forum section. The favorite part of everybody that watches these videos. I know. Wonderful. Okay, so let's go on to what Leone has to say first. Let me just take a sip of my water, because holy shit, that was a mouthful I had to go through. Okay. All refreshed, ready to go into the forum section. Now this is somebody asking a simple question about Beta Phase 1 is the title of this forum. Leone stops by and he says, "Greetings. As mentioned in the producer letter, the first phase of the beta test will take place in Gridania, and as such will only include the classes that have guilds found within Gridania. That said, please remember that the alpha tester non-disclosure agreement is still in effect, so please refrain from discussion, it's a kind of a typo, but Leone meant from discussing alpha-related content. So essentially what that means is, for any of you guys watching this video, if you're a Legacy member, if you're a regular standard Final Fantasy XIV account holder, or if you've been accepted into the beta test in any way, shape, or form, what this means is for Phase 1, and I think Phase 2, but I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact Phase 1, that you're starting in Gridania, Limsa, Leonesaurus, and ul'dah are not open yet until Phase 3, like they said in the roadmap video that I did for the beta test. Essentially what it means is, if you have a guild that's set in a city, such as Gridania in this case, only those classes or jobs or whatnot can be playable. So for you guys, you're probably saying, well, what jobs do those mean? And I'll tell you right now. It's the same as it was for the original game. All the guilds are in the same spots as they were as in the previous game. They're same cities, everything. So you get Lancer, you get Archer, you get Conjurer, you also get Botanist, Leatherworker, and Carpenter, and that's all of them. That's the entire thing, a list that you get to play around with. And they were the same ones that you got to play around with in Alpha. So, when Phase 3 comes around, which is when the PS3 people come in, and the standard Final Fantasy XIV account holders get to come in, they'll open up the other cities, and you get to play around with the other jobs, such as Marauder, Thaumaturge, Gladiator, Pugilist, and hoping to fucking God, they have Arcanist, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So, that's what he means by that. Okay, so that's the first post. The second one is the 12. What do they look like? That's what the person initially asked. So Rikuri comes into this forum post, and she goes, currently, we don't have any plans at the moment for illustrating all of the 12. However, in the beta test, you might just be able to find some statues of them. So definitely try and explore. Moving forward, we plan on having more things like this that will give you a better feel of the lore. So that's really cool, because no one knows what the fucking 12 look like. There's a couple statues that were in the original 14, like Nald and Thal, who are two gods that are made up of one, called Naldthal, and they were in ul'dah. And ul'dah believes in... well, they have these two governing gods that... I think Nald is the god of life, and Thal is the god of death or whatnot. And together they represent life and death, and ul'dah was all about money, and like, oh, all the shit you bring to you when you die carries into your other life, and you become rich, and blah, 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 all this stuff. And Nalthal was the god there that they worshipped, and no one knew what all the other gods looked like, but there was a statue of him in one of the sanctuaries. There was two sanctuaries. There was one for the Thaumaturges, where their guild takes place, which was Thal, because their Thaumaturges, black magic, is what they specialize in, so they deal with death, destruction. So Thal is fitting for them. Nald is more life. It's what you can do while you're living, not while you're dead. No, you know, so on and so forth. So it's kind of interesting how you can see a little bit into the culture in Eorzea and the religions that they focus on. But other gods like Halone the Fury, who is Ishgard's guardian deity, you have no idea what she looks like. And you only know their signs. You can see all the 12 signs, like when you start the game for the first time, you can pick what your guardian deity is. So if you like Nalthal, you can pick them as your god, and you'll see their like, I forget what his symbol was, but like, for example, Halone the Fury, which was my guardian, she is like the goddess of war or some shit like that. Or not the, well, she was basically like a fighter type, and she had 3 spears as her symbol in the constellations or whatever, and that's what I picked, because I fucking love Ishgard and the lore behind it, so I went with that. And plus, before I even knew about Ishgard, it sounded badass. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a backstory on like the gods and the 12, and that's what the 12 is. So if you're interested more in that, I'll keep an eye out for you. I'll get some feedback on that topic for you guys. So let me know what you think. Okay, so the next one is shared hairstyles, new hairstyles, and changing them is the topic of this forum post. Rikuri stops by and she says, we understand that by adding more elements, it would open up character creation even more and give rise to more possibilities. However, by adding more elements to the character data packets would also increase, and there is a possibility that it would greatly affect network traffic. Keeping in mind that this game will be global, we would like to look into this very carefully, since there will be users from all over the world accessing this game. With all that said, we are not turning away any requests for elements you all would like, so by all means, please send your feedback. So, I'm not exactly sure what this is about, but it seems like people are just asking about, like, more variety of hairstyles, or the possibility of changing them at any time you want. And if you can see the bottom post under here, this person mentions a barber NPC. And I guess she's wondering, could you please shed some light on if the barber NPC is still in works? So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but we heard somewhere that there was supposed to be a barber NPC that you can approach in A Realm Reborn. So if you have a hairstyle and you're not liking it, you can go to this barber NPC and maybe pay a certain price or whatnot, and you can change your hairstyle at any time you want for your character, which is awesome. So if you're getting tired of one hairstyle, you can just change it, which is actually realistic. That's believable. You know, more so than getting a facelift, I guess you can say, in a Final Fantasy game. But, I don't know. It sounds like... I'm not exactly sure if they still have that in the game or what. I'll get back to you guys on that if I hear more, but I'm going to link this post into the whatchamacallit section, the info box section. Maybe you guys can check it out and get back to me on that. So, yeah, it seems like an interesting post, because that actually curifies me as well. But we'll move on to the next one. Let's not dwell on this. The next one is minimap orientation. Rikiri stops by again, and she says, I'd like to give you an update on our progress with the minimap orientation. In A Realm Reborn, it will be possible to change the directional orientation so that the minimap is based on your character's line of sight. Also, similar to 1.0, it will be possible to set the orientation so it is fixed, and the option can be toggled as you like. So if you like your minimap changing directions like a compass, depending on like where your character is facing and moving, you could do that. But if you like it being set in place and not moving like most games, you can do that also. So you can toggle the feature on and off whenever you like. So that's a pretty cool addition. Alright, so the last forum post for today is by Rikiri yet again, and it's on item binding. And this one's kind of a hot topic that's going on right now. And I'm kind of on the fence about it. So let's read it, and I'll try and explain as best I can without taking sides just yet. So she says, we wanted to give you more information about the item binding that was mentioned in the letter from the producer live 4. For items that bind to characters, it will not be possible to transfer them to characters under the same account. Also, since we are planning to make it so once you accumulate more than 1 point of spirit bond, the item will be bound to you. As long as you do not fulfill this criteria, it will be possible to transfer it to other characters. Finally, regardless of whether they are bound to you or not, X items, which is like unique and untradeable is what she's referring to, and such that... Oh, let me reread that. I kind of goofed up on that. She goes, finally, regardless of whether they are bound to you or not, unique or untradeable items and such that could not be transferred previously will still not be able to be transferred. So let me explain this a little bit and give you the situation, what's going on right now. Okay, so essentially what Rikiri's saying is, and I don't want to, I'm not 100% clear on this, so I don't want to confuse anybody listening to me right now, but I'm just going to briefly go over what I understand so far, and maybe you guys can discuss it with me or other people watching this video on what's going on and your guys' opinions on this. So basically, what's going on is that they're saying, if you get it, let's say you're a crafter, okay? Let's say you're a leather worker, and you want to make a pair of boots, and you're level 20. Let's say you make a pair of level 20 boots, okay? You make them, you wear them, and you craft. So as you craft, you get spirit bond points building up on your spirit bond bar. And what a spirit bond bar is, it's kind of like an experience bar for people that aren't familiar with this, that haven't played the game before. And once the spirit bond bar reaches max, instead of leveling up, it allows you to convert it into materia. And depending on the level that the craftable item is, the better or worse the materia is. And different pieces of gear have different ones they can potentially turn into. So they can't turn into just any materia. So let's say you don't want to turn into materia. Let's say you're just using it to craft, okay? But when you build spirit bond on this, it becomes bound to you. So regardless if you have like a maxed spirit bond bard thing that's ready to convert, or if you just have a one synth that you've done and it gave you 1 spirit bond point, it's bound to you, period. No questions asked, no arguments. It is your item forever. However, let's say you get to level 25 and you have these level 20 pair of boots still, but they're 5 levels beneath you, and you make a new pair of boots that are level 25. They're better. Why would you need the old ones still? Well, here's the thing. Your friend comes and he starts leveling leatherworker, and you say, you know what, buddy? I'm gonna give you my old pair of boots. And he's like, sure thing, pal. Thanks. The game's like, nope, you can't do that. You made it bound to you. You built Spirit Bond on it. You cannot trade this item. You cannot sell this item. That's what's going on here. And if I'm wrong, correct me right now. Just don't be afraid to. But this is what I've basically interpreted right here for you through Rikiri's response. And apparently, I'm not the only one. Because you can go down this entire list of people saying they like this idea. Like, even over here, people are saying they're not a big fan of this change, and they give reasons why. There's other forum posts that were started because of this. There's a lot of people that are saying, oh, it's good for the economy. There's other people saying that, no, it's not. It's not good for the economy. And like I said, I'm not 100% against this. I'm not 100% for this. I'm on the fence. I really am not sure until I see it more cleared out and explained in more detail. Because there's a lot of people here that are still kind of confused about all this. And you can go through all these pages. Just 29 results worth on this topic alone of people going through this. And they're all debating about it. They're all bringing up ideas, potential pros and cons. There's a lot of fucking shit going on here. So, and this is pretty big because this has to do with the economy, the trading system, items in general, crafting, all that shit. So, like, relic weapons and dungeon dropped gear, that doesn't matter because that's unique and untradeable. You can't sell that shit anyway. So, that's irrelevant. What these people here are referring to is the craftable items. So people are bringing up the notion of, I mean, I've read some things of people saying like, well, what if we craft an item and we want to sell it on the market wards or something like that? Well, you can't because you made it bound to yourself. So you have to throw it out. So like, okay, so somebody brought up another idea of, well, what if I have a really beast fucking item that's really, it's a +1 body piece, it's a +1 cuirass, and I want to stick 3 materia on this bad boy and wear this like a fucking champ. So you manage to stick the 3 materia on this fucking thing, and you know what? You're feeling ballsy. You want to make another one that has 4 materia on it. So you make another one that has 4 materia. Well, guess what? You were dumbass and you wore the other piece that you made originally and it has a spirit bond on it. You can't sell it. That gear that's probably worth like 5 fucking million gil or whatever. I know I'm exaggerating here, but I'm just throwing out hypothetically here for the sake of argument. 5 million worth fucking body piece and you can't trade it to your buddy. You can't give it to a Link Shell member. You can't sell a fucking thing. You just drop it. Or you just hold on to it and keep it as a fucking novelty item, which just takes up space. So maybe people are misinterpreting this. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this. I don't know. But there's a lot of fucking people debating about this. And I'm leaving out a lot of other points, bullet points that people have brought up that are really good. So for the sake of argument and for people to get a better understanding, I advise if this piques your interest at all, whether it's in terms of the economy, the materia system, the trading system, the crafting, whatever it has to do with item binding, which is basically the entire fucking game and its overall has to do with items. I suggest you check this out, read a couple posts, and get a better understanding. And let me know what you guys think, because like I said, I'm on the fence. I really don't know how to interpret this. I see pros, I see cons, I see things I like, I see things I don't like. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I gotta hear this explained out more officially, and I gotta see this in action almost, or close to being in action before it gets implemented. And like another guy said, you know, worst comes to worst, we get in beta, it's in there, we'll give them our feedback then. So, I guess that's what we'll have to do since this month we're getting the fucking beta. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this mouthful of a forum post. That was a lot to fucking talk about. So, that is basically everything we can possibly go over in this video. We did the letter from the producer. I went over the email, and like I said, don't forget, go and check your square-enix account management system. There's the link right there, and just check, make sure your email's okay, make sure everything's activated, make sure you know everything's okay and up to date, so you don't get left out of the beta. 'Cause I would hate for any of my viewers to get left out. I really would, especially after all these videos I've done for you guys. So please look into that, and I hope to Christ you guys get in. I really do. And And we went over the Chocobo Rule the World contest. And that's everything. There's nothing else to go over. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope this was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I left anything out, be sure to let me know and I'll get back to you guys. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to try and answer them as best I can. And thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.